All right, my friends, here we are at the grad show. It's a crazy time. Normally we do this show on Wednesday, but like Naka's game went forever, so Kostya was covering that. Couldn't get it done yesterday. The good news is, I think there's 21 people. It's not so easy. It's not so easy. So, we got some big names here. Beloved bookkeeper, that's a huge graduation. So we're going to get to it. This is, of course, what would have been yesterday's show. Beloved bookkeeper is in the chat, so we'll get to her. Beloved bookkeeper, I have a request. If at some point you're like Kraai, I need to go, I can't be watching all these chumps go before me, we can skip ahead. We can skip ahead to you and do yours at any point you want. Okay, so you just let me know. We're going to start though with Timothy here. Ba-bam. I think Timothy is now in the live classes. I have yet to meet him. So you see here, he is in this beautiful group here with the live classes. I don't know why I haven't seen him yet. He hasn't shown up for the classes. So Timothy, buddy, we're wondering about you. People are like, who is this Timothy guy? How come he hasn't shown up yet? All right. As you can see, Timothy, boom, has joined the dojo recently and has been crushing it with at least 7 hours a week, usually around 10. And what does that lead to? That's going to lead to some rating gain. Yes, sir. Okay, so that looks wonderful. Timothy, maybe say something about yourself, where you live, anything like that. And we got a game. Boom, let's go look at this one. First thing we want to say, very short game. So it's hard to say anything about the clock. So we're going to start off. E3, a little weird. Good. Totally strange. So he just lost a tempo. One of the main things you're going to see at this level is people giving you tempi for free. Okay, good. Poor, giving you a tempo. Sure, take a free coconut. Poor. Good move. Oh, I like that move a lot. You could have moved the knight, but I really appreciate that move because it's a move that develops your pieces. You got to get this guy out and protects. So it's not a natural move, but it's a good one. Poor, not developing. Queen g5, very ambitious. Now, usually they say don't bring out your queen early, and this one I want to agree with him. So a key thing that we're going to need for you to just maybe develop here, Timothy, is your queen g5 move. Your position's so good that maybe you're still doing great, but we really don't want to just give him that. No, 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 no. Especially when our position's so nice. We don't want to give him the option to taste any of our things. So terrible move, c3, and now you should have taken. Should have taken. All right, queen f6. It looks like now you are the one losing time, but you got him. All right, and we should say the reason this move queen f6 is poor is they could have developed and defended the pawn at the same time. Yeah, he takes the candy on b4. Okay, so good. Good game. I want you to feel bad about these queen moves, though. What do we want instead? Developing moves. All right. Good. Ba-bam. Let's keep it coming. This is Stuart. What does Stuart have to say? Finally graduate. Looking forward to continuing the journey of chess improvement. Notice a lot of work done to get there. So Stuart, very nice work in progress. Yeah. Okay, let's give Stuart a follow here. All right, doing his own tactics, playing a lot. Stuart, tell us something about yourself. 50 plus, doing adult improver. Let's see what he's got for some games. Okay. How's my rest day going? Well, it's been a hectic time, my friend. I will tell you, it's been a hectic time. We've got spring break kids drama happening. Yeah, so it's just been a crazy time. Then a little less of a rest day. All right. Check to the miserable king. I think knight c6 makes more sense, but you win here. Okay. Notice when they take here, they help you because you're developing a piece. Poor, not developing. Unnecessary protection. Just put your knight here. It's not going to get you. Okay. Look at this. We know what these people want. We know what they want. Knight f5. Now, this is actually kind of spooky because he could have tried g4 here. Queen h3. So a one-trick pony. And now the tricks are over. Good. Poor. Not developing. Now, you play bishop e5. I want you to see that when they give you time like this, there's generally something nice. And here, boom, you had this one. You also have a nice position here. Why aren't... Yeah, and you say, I should have taken. Good, you should have taken. Good move, I like that. Maybe, oh yeah, it's a hard life. Good move, I like these centralizing moves. Good, I like it all. Now, there is a question. Well, we can start here. Could white have won a coconut with a4, pushing away your bishop from the rook? That's what would worry me right there. He doesn't see it. Thank you. You could have forced the trade of queens with queen g6. Poor. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now you're winning. Good move. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we're talking. Now you're doing great. Good move. Good move. Boom. That's mean. Dang. You know, in the Chernev book that we're doing for the live classes, Logical Chess Move by Move, he says that in chess you're allowed to hit a man when he's down. And I think that's what you did here. So, well done. Great. We can say, we're going to talk about this, I'm sure, in the games to come, is that both players are playing way too fast. Both players would have made much better moves if they had thought about it. All right, next up we got Patrick. Patrick does not say anything, but Patrick has graduated numerous times here. Beloved Bookkeeper says that was her first book. Patrick says, I did not play much chess in my life, but I like to solve a chess puzzle now and then to keep my brain fit. This year I turned 61, and instead of solving a puzzle, I decided to play a game against a bot. Turned out to be much more enjoyable than anticipated, so I got hooked, and here I am a month later.
The stove is on fire.
What?
There's a piece of butter fell on the stove, and it went on fire when she was trying to cook.
Well, yeah, that's right. Stove's on fire. Well, I can report the stove isn't on fire, but you can tell what my so-called off day is about here. All right, Patrick's trying to get 1,500 on ChessCom. Doesn't like chess fast games. Great. Great. So this is cool. Yeah, we want Patrick to get some games against some real people. This 536 looks great. He's doing all right. So I think he's probably in that older club. He could join the 50-plus club. That's a fun one. He's got some games. Let's go check it out. So this is fairly recent. We'll mark it as review. We'll go over here. The first thing we want to say, Patrick, is Your time usage here is amazing in this game. And you are going to be playing many people who play too fast. That's just going to be a thing. And you're going to, for a lot of your chess improvement, that's what it's going to be. And you should be beating them because they don't think. Now, as constructive criticism, I think anytime you begin to annotate the games, you won't have many questions at first. And the goal should be to make the annotation a little bit deeper than what we have here. I like the way you're developing. And this move's interesting. It's frisky. That's a frisky move. Okay. And he does this. Now, for example, I like what you say. E4 probably better. Check. In general, the bishop d6 was probably what we're looking for. Maybe not the greatest. Maybe queen e2. Good move. Oh, I like c6. I like that a lot because you're dominating the knight now. Now, see, we have our own little issues now because we put the queen there. Boom, good move. Bishop e7, good move. Okay. h3, not the greatest, not a developing move. Good move. He probably should have done that last move, getting ready to do this kind of thing to you. c5. Now, it looks to me like knight f5 should probably be a really big problem for you here. He doesn't do it. Good move. Snip, snap, and you bring him in. You are playing very logical chess. He plays knight e6, maybe. I think knight f5 is still a little bit of a pain. Nah. Good. So he's kind of doing some superficial threats on your pawn, and now that it doesn't work out, he goes back. Bishop e5. Okay, I would have preferred queen d7. Okay. And now we're just going to take his coconut. Now, if he had spent more than 23 seconds on that move, he might have realized, oh, my knight's in trouble. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Knight g3. Oh, look at this. Very nice. Patrick, I want to say I feel like your game is much higher than your rating. So I don't know about the goal of 1500 so fast, but I can tell you that you will progress quickly to more than what you've currently got. I'll tell you that. Mate. Oh. Mate. Almost mate. Now we're going to go mate. We could have done mate in 2 a little faster with rook here and in, but okay. Uh-oh. There we go. So, Patrick, I just have kind words. I would say the thing for you to think about is more annotations, a little deeper, maybe some more variations, but you've got a great start going here. Beautiful. All right, let's continue. We've got Maxwell, Weidenfeld. Let's go see what my mouse or something's going on with my business, actually. So hopefully I'm not falling apart in life as well as on my OBS stream. Now, Maxwell just started. He makes stuff with his friends. That's what he does. And he's got pretty good progress since joining the dojo. Doesn't say much about himself. What's my browser here? My little mouse. No clubs. He's got a game. Okay, let's go see what Maxwell's got going on. So I would say this for me is too little. We want more annotations here, Maxwell. So more annotations, and we would like to have, you just joined. Honestly, the first annotation is going to be kind of hard, right? But as just a bare minimum for me to do this, I want to see some of your thoughts so I can react to how you're thinking about the game. And the idea is really to encourage you to do that work. Okay. We have Piskovsky. Piskovsky says, I could have graduated earlier given my Lee chess rating has remained pretty stably above my cohort, but I decided to work on raising my ChessCom Rapid in tandem. Of late, most of my classical games have been in the recent under 1900 Open Classical, where I routinely play opponents hundreds of points above my rating. I knew from the outset, I can't speak today, I wouldn't collect a big score, but I'm proud of how I played against such tough opposition. And I think those very challenging games are to credit for my improvement in rapid. Okay, beautiful. Pruess did a lot of work getting to where they got. And so, yeah, the Elite Chess Classical is, right. So Elite Chess Classical, he could go up, as he said. An opening fiend and pawn grabber in recovery. I like that. Queen's Gambit Generation. Okay. In earnest playing since 2025. And you can see he began the dojo kind of new year. Second graduation here. He's doing really well. The e-board, I recommend that especially if you're not playing over the board, to do that. The e-board, e-nut, or whatever it's called. And let's go over here. Beautiful time graph. And even your opponent didn't do terribly in terms of using their time. This is a dojo round robin. When you play the dojo, one of the beautiful things is, these people, they might do a post-mortem with you. They'll probably be thinking more than your average person, during the game. Great place to do a tournament. I really like the dojo round robins as well. All right, here we go. Good, poor. This is definitely slow. It's always a consequence. There's always a consequence for going slow. Good, good. And now you do this. I think this is okay, but we do need to follow it up correctamundo. Bishop d3. And now here. This might work out. I was thinking maybe your idea was to play bishop e6. Oh, my mouse is really messing up. Bishop e6. I might have to, I don't know, to look at the square, but okay. Poor, not developing. Just to say it, we've said it already, but at this level, they're going to give you a lot of time. Poor. And now you have a question. You play e6. The question is, could you have played knight b3 here? To my superficial glance, it looks like you could. Knight b3 and then take on d2. e6. Interesting. Okay. I still think you could have played knight b3. Poor. Main reason not developing. But also because you had knight b3. And then you mentioned that. Good. You take some stuff. No, you're doing great. And now you got this nice ending. Boom. I don't like f5. I think the bishop wants to take the knight anyway. So playing f5 is just going to help. Right, but they decide they don't like it. Good move. Poor. So just in the same way they're going to lose tempo in the opening, they're going to do it in the endgame too. There's white needs to try to organize something against the black pieces before they consolidate and win the game. b5, I don't like this much. I think the simple move is to bring this bad boy over here to control all the central squares and prevent counterplay. You could have also played rook c1. That would have also been a thought. Okay. White is again not doing a whole lot. You could have considered e5, I guess. I don't like what they're doing. Rook c1 maybe? c4, okay. That wasn't it. Good, I like that. Oh, that's just delicious. Oh, more deliciousness. Oh, more deliciousness. Take it. Thank you very much. And now we're going to win. Now, great game. And I think it definitely, part of the story is this person wasn't thinking, right? They were not thinking, and they got wasted. All right, I got to do something real quick. I'll be right back. Well, my friends, sometimes you put out metaphorical fires. Sometimes you put out real fires. This time I was putting out a metaphorical fire. Thankfully, not a real fire. I don't want to put out any real fires today. It's too much. It's just asking too much from me to put out a real fire. All right, let's finish this up. It's totally lost. Well done. Well, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. And he finally resigns. I thought if he was going to go this far, he might as well try to get a stalemate or something. Next up, we got Den. Ba-boom. And Den's doing great. Started in June 25. Very nice. Look at that beautiful graph. Den, I guess we would hope to have more from your heat map over here. Seems like you had some New Year's resolution, and then kind of forgot about it. That's what happens, ADHD. Actually, that's what happens with ADHD. It's hard. It's hard. All right, so let's take a look at this thing. Oh, that's too fast. Now, I marked it as reviewed, but that's just too fast, my friends. So for me to look at a game, we would want more time spent. Because look, if you're going to spend the time to look at the game, you're going to want to have thought about the game, right? So that's a little too fast. All right, so let's keep going. Den, play a longer game. Basically, the minimum is 30 minutes. Once you get to 800, I believe, and then it's 30 plus 30. Glad it's not a real fire, that's right. So R45, this guy's been slaying. Let's see what he has to say. I've had the rating to graduate for a bit now. Actually, it was high enough to graduate 2 cohorts at one point. Maybe I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, so I decided not to. I just didn't feel ready and felt my wins were more of my opponent's mistakes versus my good play. It's always going to be your opponent's mistakes. Right after making that choice to delay graduating, I immediately dropped around 80 points. I earned that 40, 50 points back, and I'm ready for the next cohort. Looking forward to a new book. Oh, we got rated by somebody. Who did it? Ash Deanna, thank you so much. We are doing today the Chess Dojo Graduate Show. You normally do this on Wednesdays, but today we're doing it Thursday because we're covering the candidates getting bleary-eyed 3 to 6 hours a day. Today's the day off. I hope you guys had a good stream. All right, here we go. So he's looking forward to a new book. The longer games have really been great. I feel like I'm really starting to embrace taking my time more. Taking a liking to playing 30-20 on Elite Chess. I felt sometimes the 30-0 just wasn't enough. Great. All right, he wants to dive deeper into my annotations. Well, let's see how it goes. So this is Niels, and you can see he did 94 points of work, which is quite a lot. And he just started playing, but he's flying. He's flying. Okay, so you can see all the work he's doing. Maybe we'll see. He's in New England. Beautiful. Late to Chess podcast. That is a cool thing run by 2 dojoers that are making great progress, and they've also, maybe like Niels, they just really been going for it. And they're in the game and review cohort with a lower cohort. They're doing great. And one of them, Dr. Pop, even graduated because he's been graduated to the next one, which is around a group of players who are around 1,000 dojos. So that's about 1250chess.com. All right, so here's R45. And this is he's playing a rando, this game. And as is typical playing a rando, it's going to look a little bit like this, where the time, they're not thinking at all. They're not thinking at all. All right, let's run through it. Good. Poor. Good. Why was it poor? Because they helped you develop and you got rid of your one bad piece on C8. Arguably, we should have played Queen D7 so that we have that more active knight move. Fine. Poor, not developing. Knight E7 to C6 came to mind. Get your pieces out. Poor, not developing. Poor, not developing. Okay. Poor, not developing. Now let's take on D4. Okay. Take. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Oh my god. No, 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 no. You say should have just canceled. Take on c4. Take on d4. No one knows what knight e1 is about. Oh my gosh. Not that way. Not that way. Now he can open up everything to your poor king. Oh, he doesn't see it. Oh, I don't know what that move is. Oh, I don't know what that move is. Some fancy things. I don't know why he couldn't just take on d5. Oh my god, this is a madness. Everything is hanging. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what that move's about. I don't know what that move's about. I don't get anything. It's spicy. Uh-oh. He had to go to h1. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. What a game. What a game. Check. And it's not check. Oh, no. Rook f7 check was called for. Now we got that. Mate. Wow. What a game. R45. I didn't realize you had this in you, buddy. Listen. Develop your pieces. Take the free things. Both players could have benefited from that advice. Your opponent, if they had thought, like just think at the very end. If he just thinks for a little bit here, at the minimum, we'll give him a little check. Give you a little check and see what happens. Right? Just a little check to see what happens. Check. Always check. It might be made. All right, R45. That was an intense game. Develop your pieces. I'm about to do the standard rant, but I'm not ready quite yet for the standard rant that I give every week. This is Janked Tube. Janked Tube, my friends. All right. So, Janked Tube began the year doing loads of work, and now hasn't been logging their business, but they're up to 914. Very impressive. 50 plus, he's in the dojo. He's got a game. This is from a while back. It's from a while back here. Have I already covered this game? Let's see. No? Let's see. Now, one thing I want to say is it's fine to do the annotations in another language. Sometimes I can read them, but more importantly, you should do them in the language that's most comfortable for you. I think kind of chess. I can do most chess in most European languages. We do want more in here, right? Also, when you bring it in, this looks like it's from Lead Chess. Be sure to bring in the times so that we can see what the times were, so you can get a time management score. We can kind of see what the decisions were like. Okay. So, you're doing pretty good in this game. I like what you're doing. Yeah, you're not playing bad at all. Your opponent, I love what you're doing. You're doing great. Very spicy stuff. Your opponent's playing pretty good too. Good. Oh, we'll lead this game. It's like a GM level game over here. Thank you. So then they blundered their piece. And then they were just like, I can't take it anymore. Why did they resign, man? Okay, so what I want to say about this is we want more annotations. There's a lot of questions going on. In particular, what we would want to take a look at is, first of all, your play in general is pretty good. You're not hanging stuff. But in these positions, we want to try to come up with a plan because it feels like you should be doing better here, especially when he did all the knight stuff, didn't develop. We should be able to find ways to mess with black. In the end, we didn't. In the end, it was decided by a blunder on your opponent's part. He could have even kept playing, right? Next thing to say is, yeah, bring the times in. I have no idea what the time situation looked like here. All right. So, there it is. Oh, and this... He's playing Council, who I feel like I know. And actually, I thought he was white, but he was actually black in that game. That was weird. Because Council is a guy that I've seen before. Okay, so now I don't know what this means. Blunder game study permission requested to track my serious rapid games. Okay, I'm confused by what he's talking about. So first of all, we're going to give Double G a follow here. He's got like a separate account and stuff. So I don't know what's going on. He is, I don't know. So clubs, chess dads and moms, okay. He's got some games. All right. Now let's just give this a click and see what we're doing. This is a little too fast for where he's at. Let's see if they're all like that. Now this is maybe what he meant. He was like permission to play really fast or something. I don't know. Let's go look over here. This one's a little longer. It's a little bit unconventional of a time control. It's definitely not long enough for where he's at. Okay, so Double G. I don't know what this means, but for your own sake, I think we should say that if you log your business and play some longer games, that will be a beautiful thing. These games are also ancient, actually. I didn't realize that. They were all from 2023. Okay, so that, yeah, Double G. Buddy, what's going on? Next up, we got the famous, no, I don't know if Unicorn Outpost is famous yet. I got to reserve that for the famous people. Unicorn Outpost, also graduating a bunch, but not logging their stuff. 1028. Okay, doesn't say anything. Adult Improver, got some games here. All right, we'll go take a look. So, oh, I already did. Oh, I'm confused. This says, oh, I reviewed this on February 4th. It's a little bit confusing because today is 4/2, and I was like, is that one of those European things? Because it says reviewed on 2/4. No, I reviewed it on the February. So, we want some new games, hopefully from Dude. Unicorn Outpost. Well, tell us something about yourself too, man. Next up, we got Keen HB. Joined fairly recently. Clubs, we got some games. Beautiful, okay. Market. And beautiful time graph. Beautiful time graph, okay. It seems wrong. Good. Well, you're doing great. Take that thing. Good. So you're up a clean pawn. Oh, and that's a nice tempo. That feels good. Okay. Good. Oh, you've got an amazing position now. Beautiful. 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 Simple chess. Knight d6 looks good. I've been thinking about this move for the last several moves, but now it really demands to be played. That wasn't it. Thank you. Thank you. So, this person truly fell apart. Good game. Yeah, played a good game. So, Next up, we got someone kind of famous. This is Seven Stitch. Now, Seven Stitch has been around a while. We have at least two famous people. We got Beloved Bookkeeper coming up in a second. So let's read what Seven Stitch says. Happy to graduate again. Not much else to say other than time management is still an issue for me, OTB, but I'm working on it. In the last grad show, Jesse asked why I had so much time in non-dojo custom work. That's mainly down to extra tactic work I've committed to each day. And I will review your game against Willie, okay? So Seven Stitch, look at this, his progress, by the way. Dang. All right. Seven Stitch doesn't play, dude. Look at that. That is a graph, my friend. That is an incredible graph. Yep. Yeah, it just, I can see with my screen capture that it even goes beyond the screen capture. That's how powerful this graph is. 975, going from 496 to 1471. He needs to reach 1550 for his very next graduation. The guy's moving. Now you can see his non-dojo work in there. It's very impressive. All right, is he in the Irish clubs? He is. Ooh, lifting heavy things. Check out my video. Because these people are graduating more than anybody else, I did a video about it. So we talked about those guys. We got some games. This is the Seven Stitch. Okay, Willie, there he is. So Willie is a D4 player. All right, we'll mark it as reviewed. We got this nice time graph, 145. As we go up, we'll see people using more and more time. Longer time controls. Good. A little weird. This is an ancient system. And let's talk about it briefly. The idea is very elegant. That black is going to get rid of his bad bishop and then just feel good about his soul. The issue is really that it took black 2 tempi to get there, and then if he takes, he's going to give white another tempo to take back. So, yes, you got rid of the bishop, but what white should say is, well, I need to use that tempi for something. But look, white doesn't. That's not using it for anything. Fine. Okay. 4. Knight h4, very good. Knight h5, I don't know. h6. You could probably play bishop e7 too. We wouldn't want to talk about it anyway. Good move. Good move. Frisky. And then that's very frisky. Now this is making me nervous now, Seven Stitch. That was all a little bit too much for me. That's impressive. And you think you should have taken. I agree. Now maybe you're fine, or at least not dead yet. F6, interesting. Can they play F4? The question of the day. Yep, F4, good move. We're in a little trouble here. Can we play Queen G7? I guess that would be the question. And now I guess we're toast. Yeah. Bishop F2. Bishop G3 just makes more sense. Bishop F2 gets in the way of the rook, gets in the way of the knight maybe coming back. He was obsessed about the pawn, I guess. Good. I would rather knight F2. Good. Uh-oh, he's blowing it. He's blowing it. And then whack, he got us. That's unfortunate. Now, do we have a chance still? No, probably not. I like that you're playing on, though, because, you know, you got to get something going. Check to the visible king. Good. Oh, blunder. Check him. Very nice. And then we're going to do it to him. Just because you got a queen doesn't mean you can be complacent. That was nice to see. So you can see Seven Stitch is a fighter, and maybe where he needs work is controlling his urges here for moves like G5 and the whole thing was kind of, and then Rook G8 allowing Queen H7. We will get in trouble if we do that. All right. So, but otherwise, it's Seven Stitch, obviously. The guy's making progress. Now we got Februario Castro. Now, the same as I've said before, well, I don't remember what you said before. Now, I just want to say, I once heard of a woman, I did not meet her, but she was apparently this really cool rugby playing dyke woman that her parents named January. And I always thought that was so cool to be like a badass chick named January, you know? And I'm wondering, like, what does it mean when they call you February? That's my question for the day. That's my question for the day when somebody get called February. Now, maybe Mr. Castro can answer that. You know, maybe it's maybe actually beloved bookkeeper can help me because is it a is it a Cuban reference? Is it like a February Revolution reference that I'm not getting? Because beloved bookkeeper is she's a southerner, a deep southerner down there in Miami. So she might know about the Cuban connection. All right, here we go. European Dojo. All right, we got this over here. He has been with us for a while. Let's click on this here. We'll do this one. Too fast. Too fast. Time out. Are they all that fast? Let's go over here. Yeah, too fast. So I think one thing we'll say for Mr. Castro is logging your business, and if you're 1400, 1500, you really need desperately to play some longer games to grow your skills. Okay. So Winston Wong, a lot of work going up to 1400, 1500. Let's go see what's going on with Winston. So bang, 1454. Joined basically as a New Year's resolution, and the man has graduated a second time. He's doing great. USCF lagging behind, but he hasn't been playing the USCF. SF Bay Area, great. Home of the dojo in some ways. And here's Winston and Farouj. No clocks. All right, let's go here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Fine. I don't like that one. I think CD is probably the right move. Now you played C3. I think you should castle and play, or ED, play castles and ED. Full spice of life going on here. Queen B6. Takes finally. Check to the miserable king. 97. Yeah, I think his position's a little worse no matter what. I like how you did this. Poor, not developing. Okay, this was his intention, but we come and whack him. We could have whacked him with knight FD4 or something. I do not understand that move for the life of me. I don't get it. Oh my God. I don't understand H3. I don't understand G5. No comprendo. No comprendo. Yes, beloved bookkeeper, you are next. Good moves. Beautiful. I don't know. What are we doing? But he's just hanging all his coconuts. Just take it. That was weird. That's good. That's a nice one. Time would be nice to see what the situation there was. But in general, a good game. Pretty good annotation, too. There's some weird moves that both sides played, right? Knight ge7, the whole weird, like, bishop h7, exclam, and then you didn't take the rook next move. All right, my friends, we have a special request. We're going to jump ahead just a touch, and we're going to look at Beloved Bookkeeper. And she says, with the Maryland Open and World Open coming up, I've been practicing every day to get ready. I finally hit 2,000 ChessCom Rapid, and it feels surreal. That was my goal since joining the dojo in 2022, and now I have to find a new goal. I'm still catching up on old books from previous cohorts like Chess Tactics from Scratch and How to Reassess Your Chess. My one question for Jesse would be if he has any advice for how to handle a long tournament like the World Open, as it is 9 rounds over 5 days. I've never played a long tournament like that and would appreciate any advice. Well, first of all, this is just a beautiful thing. And I have some thoughts, but I want to look at your profile before I say a little bit more about it. By the way, yeah, she's in this really cool club for women's players here in Baltimore. And I think she's actually living in the county, though. So I don't know if she counts as Baltimore. I don't know if she counts. Just leave it, Jesse. Just leave it, Leave that topic. Now she says she's in Baltimore City, so I can't give her any more credit. All right. As you can see, my friends, she has gone up, and it's been a super long journey. And it goes back way back to 2022. And one of the things I want you to appreciate is there's been stages of the journey that probably, I know, felt very depressing to her. Stages where, like, I remember she had that initial boost and then was thinking, I'm going to the moon. And then we had a plateau, right? Then another nice jump, some work, and then a plateau. And then the thing everybody should see is like, oh, that's maybe what improvement kind of looks and feels like, right? Because if you don't realize that, you're just going to, in the plateau, you're going to be like, oh, man, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. But here she's making it, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, something I really want to stress is you can see her USCF is really lagging behind. And the real problem for everybody when they get up to around this 2,000 on chess.com is it's no longer a great thing for measuring your improvement. Because the players at this level often are cheaters. There's that problem. They're often moving too fast it's hard to get a longer game, as an example. And so she hit 2,000, great. But when you think about your next goals, I think they should really start being to say, right, I've hit 2,000 ChessCom. That's kind of the limit for what you can do with online improvement. And now I have to start thinking like, oh shit, this USCF rating that's been difficult for me because it's been so painful is something that needs to come up. So you're playing these two events, and I pity the fools who have to play you. I pity the fools because there you are at 1350, and they're going to be playing you, and they're going to be like, I can take this woman out, and then it's not going to be so easy. I don't know where you are in your game. My recollection, my memory was that you really had a time pressure problem. So that's something to think about, nerves, when you're asking about these tournaments. It's going to be a long slog. And I think for you, because you're younger, you can get away more with, maybe eating poorly or not sleeping as well. But for me as an old man, I will just tell you, every moment of rest I can get in a long tournament like that, I just do. And it's kind of sad because I want to be out socializing with people, talking to people like beloved bookkeeper, hanging out. And then in general, I just don't have the energy, and I need to like just dial it all the way back in. So it's kind of sad. I have memories of being a kid at tournaments and hanging out all the time and learning so much from talking to other people, yada, yada. In any case, you have to listen to your own body and figure it out. You don't like the stress can often be so much you get sick, and it's hard. It's hard. So I guess the main thing is to try to reduce the level of stress, increase the amount of rest, relaxation you get when you're doing it. Yeah, that won't help sleep hanging out at a friend's house. Okay, but you're young. You're young, beloved bookkeeper. Now, let's go take a look. Actually, do we have a Be More Queen side? No, we don't. With the Dojo Queens, here we go. Well, the Dojo Queens is, of course, like universal. Maybe her Be More Queen side, she can get that maybe as a club going too. Now, Sam, do you have a request here for which game we look at? I guess we're going to probably look at the most recent one just because that's the only one here. Let's do that. Ba-bam. Boom. This is Sam C. against Randall. What's up, buddy?
So we want, Ali said.
You're being a little loud here. What's up?
Ali said that since Hattie's taking Winnie on the walk, Addie's going to give her money, and I decided we don't want to talk to Addie about this. Maybe when she's done with her session, you can.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking with her with Winnie.
Okay. Is that cool with her?
Yeah.
All right,
totally,
give me 5.
totally really cool with her. She told me to say that to you.
Okay, good, buddy. Make sure you put on some socks, okay?
No.
No socks?
Because I'm wearing my Crocs.
All right. No socks with your Crocs, buddy.
These are not.
All right, close this door. We got spring break going on here. Good times. Good times. All right, so here's our amazing time graph. And as you can see, if Sam has a problem, it's going a little too slow. Going a little too slow. And this DC Chess League, this is a beautiful thing, by the way. I think it's probably, I know it's hard to travel to DC to do that because it's a pain in the butt to drive there. But the idea of playing a game or two without having to struggle with like a 9-round tournament, beautiful thing. No socks with the Crocs. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Good. And now bishop e7 is fine. Kind of a known position that's interesting is h6, bishop f6, queen f6. And despite the fact that the queen's out early and stuff, black's doing pretty good. But your move, fine. And we transpose to a French. Look at that. Amazing. Knight f3, poor move. And you say, thank you very much. Beautiful. Beautiful. Has to be correct. Because when they take, you get to develop the queen. Well, I don't have any great advice for them, by the way, either, because knight e4 just doesn't do it. Okay, good. See, you got a nice pawn. Now, you could argue white has a minor compensation with the development. Fine. Fine. Castles is fine. Now, that's a dirty trick move right there. And here you think forever and play f5, which I don't like. The issue, of course, is do they have this bishop h7, knight g5 thing? And it's a little scary, for sure. H4 is controversial, we should say, though, because it's not clear that if as long as it doesn't mate you, it's not clear that the king is really going to be all that safe. We mean white's king. So a way to develop and defend this at the same time would have been knight d7. And so now, if this all goes down, you have knight f6. Right? So you talked about this king h6, and maybe, though this one, after queen d2, there's a little bit of scary still going on, right? So I think you could have, knight d7 would have been the move to look for. I'm assuming you didn't see it, and we play f5 instead. Now f5, we just got to say you're putting another pawn on the color of the bishop. It's not a developing move. Then e5 square is soft, all that stuff. You're still up a pawn, though. Queen e2, okay. Knight d7, g4, very frisky. And now you tank forever and play rook e8. Could you have played fg4? I think you could have. Stay with fg4. I don't like this. You're not developing. That's the thing that should bother your soul. Well, that's spicy. That's spicy. Bishop f5, ed4, and yeah, he's all locked in. He's all locked in on this. It's a fascinating position, though, because you have a little intermezzo, don't you? On queen e7, you have dc3. So that's cool. Poor. That isn't it. Good move, and now we're winning. Okay. You could probably just move the queen or do that dc3 thing. That was poor. Your opponent's hanging their stuff. Yeah. Get out of here, buddy. You're going to get mated. You're going to get mated. Ooh, baby. Okay, Sam. So one of the things, let's just think about this for a second. Something about the World Open, actually, is you stand to maybe win a lot of money. You could win a lot of money because you're going to be playing in a section where you are very much underrated. We call that underrated. We call that sandbagging. Now, those sections, even if you are like much higher, much better than your rating, they're still very hard to win because there'll be a bunch of underrated kids, all that stuff. But, you'll want to have control over your time, and you'll want to really try to play better positional chess than you did there. Like, for example, before you make the move f5, you're like, really, do I got to do this? Do I got to play f5? And the whole thing with e5 is very creative, but it was very sus at the same time, right? Yeah, so 10K first prize for under 1,600. Now you're talking about a goal? That's a goal. That's a goal, my friend. I want to win that 10K for show, for shizzle. I want that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to see her at the Maryland Open. I guess it's about a month away. That'll be her prep tournament for the under 1,600. Honestly, your ratings, though, 1,300 or something, maybe you could play the under 1,400. That would be maybe you can do that too. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to mark this as reviewed. I did. Sam, congratulations. I'll see you in about a month. Next up, we have Christian. I don't know, beloved bookkeeper. Can't you do it? There's usually an under 1,400 section. Christian says, I've been doing the program for 3 months now, and so far, I've seen really good results. I went to my first OTB since 2026 in March and ended up winning the whole thing with a score of 4-4. I'm playing in a bigger tournament next week, and I'm hoping I can keep up the momentum. Thank you for creating this resource for improving players. Well, thank you. All right, let's go check Christian out here. And we'll give him a follow. Hit 1,600 pretty quickly as a teenager, but plateaued for a while since then. Right. Okay. And now, look at that. This is actually the first in the graduations that we've had has been using an OTB rating today. And Christian's way up there to 1,667. Or excuse me, 1,700. normalized to Dojo 1667. So, beautiful thing. By the way, our new rating conversion should be out, I don't know, within a week or so. And all this is going to get shaken out a little bit. A little shaked out. All right. So, Christian's doing great. We got some clubs. No clubs. Clubs often let me see like where they're from, what they're into, that kind of thing. All right. So here is Christian Dotson. And he's playing this his nemesis, Max Witherall. So we're going to mark it as reviewed. No times. We don't know anything about the time. All right, here we go. Thank you, beloved bookkeeper, for being here. Okay. Now, Christian's actually black. I don't know why it's flipped. I think black is doing great. Okay. Poor. I think bishop b3. Yes. Good note. Poor. Not developing. Checked the Miserable King. Ooh, poor. g5. Frisky. Dang. Castle's definitely safer. Wow, this person is not afraid of anything. a5. Okay. Boom. 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 And he resigns. And let's just show what's going on here. Snip, snop, snook, and snark, and poop, and prip. Right there. Over. Setting a trap with a5. Evil. Evil. Yeah, pretty good. That's a pretty good trap. By the way, Max, next time, develop your pieces. So hopefully, Christian, we can win all these games all the time with these people that do not develop their stuff. Next up, we got Wyatt, who is also known as Bleach Bullet, and he says, double graduation. Had a very good tournament recently, and I am simply waiting for my OTB rating to update. But my new live rating is 1687 USCF. Been a very weird arc for me, as I had pretty much given up on chess improvement altogether after working my butt off and continually being trapped in 1500 hell for over a year. Returning to classical chess on a whim about a month ago. I somehow managed to fix my latent time trouble issues, need to speed up, that were consistently costing me full points against Class A players, and I've now proved myself worthy with a 3-3 score against strong opponents in a recent club tournament. Perhaps I've missed something, but some dojo content on how to manage your time in chess would be quite helpful for players like me who are prone to going too deep in the tank. Dojo program recommendations have been excellent. I do feel like the tactics requirement, particularly Puzzle Rush 5-minute survival scores, are very, very soft at this cohorts around this level. Despite working the hardest on my tactical vision and my tactics ratings being hundreds of points higher than my cohort, I was always losing games on simple calculation errors. Huge thanks to the senseis and community for doing what you all do best. Okay, great. Let's take a look. That must mean that Bleach Bullet is a tactics wizard. Let's see here. He plays chess and base. 1711 ChessCom. Okay. So he could graduate again. And USCF over here, 1439. Good. And tactics rating, as you can see, he feels like he's crushing over here, 1700. It is remarkably close, though, to hear his chess comp. So we can't say too much about it being too soft, can we? All right. Like beloved bookkeeper, a much higher ChessCom rating than the USCF. And I just want to say it'll be real interesting to see what the conversions are. But recently, by that I mean the last couple of years, I've really seen the ChessCom ratings normalize to a much higher rating than the USCF, which suggests a deflationary tendency in the OTB and an inflationary one in the ChessCom. So we're going to see how that shakes out. I'm pumped to see. We're going to do a little podcast on it and stuff too. We got a real statistician working the numbers. Okay, so here we go. This is Bleach Bullet. Any clubs, Bleach? He's in Denver. Beautiful. I'm a friend of the Denver Dojo. I really want people to put their games into my games. Okay, that's where they go. So here we go. This is going to be a nice one here. Do we have times? We do. Beautiful. All right. And look at that. Both of them are using their times big. And look at that. Some kind of huge tank. We're going to have to keep our eyes on what happened from move 15 to 16. All right, here we go. Okay. Fine. Frisky. Good. Okay, I don't know. C takes, E takes, knight C6. Bishop B5. I don't know about this move. Good. I don't know. You don't like it. I think it makes sense to me. Yeah, I don't know. Boom. B3. Maybe knight A4. I like your position, though, no matter what. Good. Finally. So that was a clear loss of time, I think. F3. You say white's a little better. It's hard to imagine. Hard to imagine. He's not castle. He's got no problems. You played A5. I think knight D7 comes to mind. That's weird to me. Can he play knight takes A4? He should probably, yeah. We should at least play AB. Now B4. I think he should just take the pawn. I didn't see anything wrong with it. So some strange moves I don't understand. And here we go. Finally, knight D7. I wanted this a long time ago. Now the question, especially now, is if white's consolidated his position, it's believable that G4 should crush us. Maybe that also crushes us. Good move. Okay, good. He could still play G4, though. He does. All right, bishop E4. And now, is it all cooked for Lucy over here? That's a great, beautiful, interesting position all of a sudden. And you fixed your bishop. Okay. Oh, I didn't like that. So, I thought D4 would be maybe a good move. Yeah, I like D4. I don't understand what's going on here. So he goes on to win, but he says he's got a clear advantage here. I gotta believe that. I gotta believe that's true. Yeah, sure, you got a clear advantage. But Kraai, you said you didn't like taking on D3. I still don't. Now it would have been anti-intuitive, but in any of these positions, if he takes back with CD5, it's going to be a lot harder to win because we're not going to have the huge connectors in the same way. Yeah, so this one's a little complicated. I still like black. Actually, I'll come around on bishop D3. I feel like this is a winning position positionally, but I'm coming around. Bishop D3 was surprisingly strong. Okay. See, I can come around. I can change my mind. All right, that's Wyatt. He's doing great. We got a couple more people here. First of all, we got Adam. After 8 months, he had to demote himself back to 1500, regained the rating 3 months after that, had a turbulent European Amateur Chess Championship campaign, which ultimately boosted my rating in the last 2 games. Played 12 games the last 3 months to gain a further 22 points, finally back on the grad show. Some highlights of the OTB tournaments included finishing second and winning best board 3, third board in our local team league, and comfortably qualifying for the second of 3 phases of the national championships. Okay, this is cool. I am jealous of European team chess. I played in the Bundesliga years ago. Also in the English League before it was called, now it's called the 4NCL or something, but it was just the English, I don't know what it was called back in the day. That was a long time ago. So here's Adam. Oh, he's doing great. We got this beautiful FIDE rating. Yeah, look at that staircase. That's what we're talking about. All right, and he's got the OTB. Notice the stronger players are playing OTB. European. Tell us where you're from, Adam. That's not simply a Europe, you know. So we might learn though from here. Sweeky. So he's in Sicily. Even though his name's Adam Buckle, he might be in Sicily. All right. I think this is the most recent. So I'm going to click here. The games that should be in the My Games folder. Yeah. All right. So it looks like he's playing some Sicilian dudes here. So we'll mark it. And no times, of course. You can put in the times. Always helps. All right. Good chess so far. Okay. Poor. Not the end of the world, just poor. I don't like it. This is going to allow black a stable structure. Bishop d3 definitely seems better. I like ed a little bit better too for him. But okay, here we go. Poor. Losing time. Losing time. Bishop d2. Bringing the queen back. Losing time. Poor. No one has a plan here. People need a plan. They need to do some. Oh, it's killing me. Angelo, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know what any of these moves mean. I got no idea. Now, in this position, are you a little bit better? I'm willing to believe you're a little better here. Sure. I don't like that move. I don't like that one either. And 92 makes some sense. All right. Fancy position. Knight c6. Knight b8, maybe, to c6 to try to fix it. Okay, good. Interesting. Okay, I like this. Now, all of a sudden, people are playing some interesting moves. There was some weird stuff happening earlier that I had no idea.
When he went P 4 times and poop once.
Wow, bud, nice.
Really hard to get out of the poop.
I kind of like bishop b5 a little bit better, knight g4. We could do a little bit better with the notes here.
What time is it again?
It's time for you to leave, bud. I like that a lot.
So
That's
like
cool.
2:30?
Buddy, out.
Okay.
And now did you find it? Good. There it is. You're clearly winning this one. Let's mate him. King g5, let's mate him. Check. And then I think they should if they're going to play on this long, they should let you mate him. I think. That's just. In fact, I think Sam was talking about also there was somebody who played on. If you're going to play on, you might as well let him mate you. Okay. So, beautiful. That was Adam. Adam's doing well, man. That was Adam. I just want to say there was some weird moves in there. Both players not finding a plan. And let me just say, sometimes you don't find a plan. Sometimes it's hard. But in the annotations, that's your moment to be like, all right, let's think about how either side could have found a plan here. Because you're going to get the similar kind of thing, later in life. Later in life in a different game. All right, so Spork is working with the training partner, has done muchos work, so that's great. Let's go take a look. Hold on, I got to do something. All right, North Carolina. All right, okay. So, this is great. Alderdude, North Carolina. North Carolina is now a beautiful hub of chess. 1627 USCF. Great. This guy, maybe he's going to introduce himself at one of these senior events I'm playing in. Holy moly. Also cool to be playing chess as a teenager in the 70s, the Fisher boom. I bet he's got some good stories from back in the day. So clubs, lifting heavy things. These are the people graduating. Charlotte Dojo, beautiful. If he's there, he's doing great. 65 plus, those are some true champions, only 18. I think there might be a second 65 plus club. I'm hoping there isn't. Lifting heavy things, JWMCC, right? Just all the time. All the time. So, let's take a look at these games. He's got a lot. This is Fred V versus Spork. And oh, beautiful time graph. So there's an OTB. Notice the man took the times down. Notice how you play over here. These people, at least we know nothing about the quality of the game, but the time graph, that's great. All right, here we go. So Spork is black. I feel like, I don't know why that got reversed. Okay, fine. Fine. Poor. Take it. Oh, beautiful. So he wants to prevent d5. One of the things we should say, though, is that when you play g6, you're kind of saying, hey, I'm probably not going to play e6 myself. So d5 isn't the end of the world for you. And a simple plan would be b6. And if he pushes you, then we start fighting for the c4 square with knight a5. Right? Even knight b4 maybe, too. Because both those moves, if d5 comes, are reasonable. And we just want to put our bishop on the nice square and want to fight for our blockade square here on d5. I don't know about a6. Now, by the way, white should be thinking of d5 at some point. Now he really should, because he has contact with the e6 pawn to liberate his pieces. Good move. I like that a lot. In fact, I think white shouldn't have allowed that. And now we have a truly nasty move, knight h4. Black is thinking, white is thinking, I got to stop him. In fact, black is just looking at this beautiful square, the blockade square, the key of the position. So this is a good example of not a poor positional understanding. Honestly, the knight just needs to come back now. Good move. Maybe bishop d5 now. Knight c6, frisky. Good move. Yeah, now his knight really can't come back. Good. Beautiful. Good. Now the reason I know that you're better in this position is simply because the knight on h4 is so poor. That doesn't look right. And now this is just a blunder. And he says, thank you. Black's got a great position, though. Great position, because my knight's coming here. This guy nobody knows. So very nice, instructive win. And black got what he deserved. White also got what he deserved. White also got what he deserved. Notice he didn't even think about fixing his poor knight. All right, he could have resigned earlier. They finally gave up. Okay, well done, Spork. I love it that you're an old guy making progress. And I guess we got two more people. There's Guitar Spider. And he's doing a lot of work. Look at this. Let's go check Guitar Spider out. I haven't followed him yet. Now, I just want to say an unfairness in life and in the dojo is that when you're at a lower cohort, it's just going to be much easier to graduate. It's hard when you're up here. It's much more competitive, and the things you have to get better at to gain 100 points, they're much harder to do. Now you can see Guitar Spider is doing a bunch of stuff that's non-dojo. I have no idea what it is, but you can see he's got all those hash marks going on. So he's up here at a level which probably should be thinking about some OTB, and there it is. He's got this beautiful OTB rating, but has not played in a long time. All right, clubs, nothing. Guitar Spider, tell us something about yourself. All right, let's go over here. So we'll mark this. Beautiful time graph. Look at that. We do want you to be playing a slightly longer time control, but I understand. Okay. Good. Yeah. Fine. So we're saying basically anytime you take it, it's going to give me the development to get counterplay. He gives a variation with knight e5, rook e8. Makes sense to me. And now black is a little bit better because we have the center and this bishop is poor. And now knight g5, it's poor because it's not developing. You play knight d4, and yeah, you could have just kicked the thing. The knight, he has no business doing nothing over there. That's just a cheap move. He should have castled. Oh, now that just makes me nervous. That just makes me nervous, b6. Why aren't we just kicking him a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is officially terrible here. I didn't like this. Was it really? Yeah. Was that necessary? Now, so when he does this, it's like an attempt. I guess maybe I'm going to be fine with it. I really don't like it, but it might just, the claim is it just might be making our life simpler. You know, it is pretty simple, at least, at a minimum. Good. E7 box, he says. Maybe. Check to the miserable king. Now, this is getting weird. Interesting position. So I was talking about how it made his life easier. This all looks like a mess to me, but now you're killing him. I think what we want from the annotation is, let's go back to this bishop e4 thing. Your bishop's stronger than the knight, so ideally we really don't want to take the thing, right? Now I get it. It's a little bit spicy over there, but let's just imagine. But I still think you're doing great, by the way, when you play bishop e4. But the point is just to think about how we could have done it better. So at least a variation I would want is something to consider this variation. And the point is just like our bishop is looking. He's just looking. And my king, muchos better, right? Okay. So here we want in the annotation some kind of something about what we should have done instead. All right. This looks like it shouldn't be any. Well, I know it shouldn't be anything. I know it shouldn't be anything. Yeah. So maybe not queen a2. Anyways, I don't want to go too deep. I just want to say here's where we want human annotations about how we could have done this better. I believe I've no doubt that you're winning this position, for example. Rook e5 to rook h5 would be a simple way to start to consolidate the position. Okay, well done. And my friends, we got one more. It's a little rushed today because kids are driving me insane. Let's read what King Chess has to say. Hi Senseis, happy to be graduating. I joined the dojo in January 25 and worked hard last year up till September, graduated to this cohort. This is a big cohort, my friends. But I had to stop due to some unfortunate circumstances. Now I'm back training hard since the mid of February and I am enjoying the process. Trying to put in as much as I can alongside my work, and I've recently found a training partner as well to do the sparring exercises. Coming back from the break, I analyzed my games I played last year at the state championship and national under 1600 championship. I analyzed my 3 losses. At the under 1600, all games were FIDE rated, and I analyzed all of them. Had 4 wins and 5 draws because I played extremely risk-averse chess, accepting draws even in better positions. Okay, and we're going to do one of these games. I'm feeling good about my chess and enjoying the process. Sorry about the long message. Really love the dojo. Thank you, King Chess. So we're going to grab this one. And the first thought I just have, King Chess, is it seems like you already have a sparring partner, but I just got recently, it's a guy in your cohort named Buck Duck reached out to me about the game and review classes that we have. And at the moment, we don't have a group for the higher cohorts yet. So it was like, oh, right, Buck Duck. I was kind of like wanted to bring him into it, but I realized like our top group right now, it's a good group of guys, but they're more like 1,500 to 1,800 dojo, which is a little higher, right, than your chess comms or whatever, right? But anyways, just thought of you there, King Chess, because Buck Duck, and so like if we could get you and Buck Duck and maybe a couple other people to make a higher group, well, I think for me, for my own personal ambition, that'd be great. To build that ladder up to get some really strong groups. All right, let's look at King Chess here. So I'm already following King Chess. Joined 25 last year. Look at this amazing growth. Has been logging his stuff more frequently now. Doesn't tell us. I would like to know, like, where does he live in? Maybe this will tell us. He's in India. He's in, maybe, who knows where he is. Maybe somewhere in Asia. Maybe in India. Okay. So, great. Games. Oh, we're not going to actually look at his games. We're going to look at his games, but we are going. He's doing great. We're going to copy and paste the game that he wished. So let's go take a look. Boom. Guitar Spider, thank you for being here. All right. So the first thing we can say, King Chess, is this is too fast. This is too fast. I get it. Maybe it's a special tournament. But for you, especially where you are, you need to be playing longer games. And, writing out the times, too, would be nice. Okay, good so far. All right, F3 is maybe a little weird, but it makes sense. Okay. C4, interesting position. Now, you could do a variety of things here. You play bishop e6. What I don't understand is, if you want to take the knight, you could just play knight d5 and knight d4 right now. Okay, so bishop e6. Now you take it with your good bishop, plant the knight, and he does this. And you say, I want that bishop, developing his queen. Knight d7, castles, f5. Okay, so amazing position. The disappointment, I think, is I'm not sure I would say you're better here, but White's moves were soft enough earlier that I think you could have attained at least an initiative. Here, his knight's a little funny, but he's got a good bishop, so I would say maybe I'd rather beat White a little bit. Okay. And this move, I don't know about f4. Let's talk about why f4 is maybe suspicious. It's that when a person plays f4, they are looking to bust heads with g5, g4, but you don't have a light square bishop anymore. Your good bishop, what we call in the King's Indian, which we're now in a King's Indian structure, we call that our 6-point bishop, meaning it's worth more than a rook. All right, the guy maybe should consider bishop d2 just to avoid trading off the bishop, because I think that's a good idea that you do there. Good. Bishop h4. Excellent. He does this. And I have a feeling that's too much, because you don't have a light square bishop. So he can play h3 when you commit your rook all the way over there. He, however, gets scared and plays g4. You say better is rook ac1. For whatever reason, I like rook fc1. And this is very dangerous, what he just did. So, knight c5. Yeah. Very dangerous. Now you're looking good. Knight e4 is a threat. Already it's looking hard for us. Okay. Now you play queen g5. It's probably fine. But you should definitely at least examine boom, boom, rook a c8, because that looks like an advantage for black. Looks like an advantage. You've got knight d3 coming and such. Knight a4, depending on what happens. Okay, so queen g5. King g2. I thought maybe rook a d1. I don't understand this. Now his queen is all messed up. And he's offering you queen d2 whenever you want it. Rook a c8 looks very logical. You follow here. He was determined. This is his whole thing. This isn't good. Yeah, you're nailing him here. Knight d3 is such a big thing. He should maybe play rook a d1 just to stop knight d3. Oh, this isn't helping him. Get out of here, buddy. Right, and the reason, what we should say in the annotation is the reason rook 6 f7 is better is because we want to have this option. Not sure I understand king g3. Good. Finally. Now let's go claim that c file. Thank you. My opponent offered me a draw. Oh, so this is what we really need to talk about. King Chess came here to me for a therapy session. Now, one thing that's important is it would be great if we knew what the time situation was. You know. Yeah. So, you're talking about knight g2, king g2, rook f4. You know. The thing I guess we should say, you know this already though, is that there's zero danger here in this position for you. Let's see what moves you look at here. It doesn't show me. To me, like rook c3, if I'm just blitzing out a move or something, looks like it's a super pleasant position to play. And rook f4 is a safe move, but this is another one. I like that a lot. And then you got these kinds of ideas. You own the C file. It's a beautiful thing. Maybe you got to be a little careful though. See, this is actually this is an example where maybe the milk goes bad, because you got to be a little careful that the rooks don't somehow line up on your G pawn. It's kind of hard for him to do it, to be honest. But anyways, yes, I just want to say I have taken a lot of draws just out of nervous tension. When we think about the old habit, we've talked about this on the podcast, of GM draws, so-called, it's generally like both players had a nervous exhaustion and were so scared that they take this draw, and then the fans think it's like prearranged or something. No, they're just both being weenies and scared. They're scared to lose. And from my perspective on this, it's all about when you do this annotation to talk to yourself a little bit about it. Every situation will be a little different. Sometimes it's fine to make a draw. But the thing is to be aware of when you're doing it and why you're doing it. And really, for the most part, it's almost always a mistake to take the draw. And not only just from a practical point of view, as in, I have a good chance to win this game, but also just like when we don't play on, we lose the chance to learn about chess. Right? While I was talking, I began to lean towards rook f4, by the way. It's so unpleasant. It's so unpleasant and safe for us. At some point, we do this. We would screw down the coffin over here a little bit. It's so hard for them to push anything. Adios, muchachos. Adios. All right, my friends, I'm going to be out of here. Me and Kostya are going to be back 8:30 Eastern tomorrow. We're doing round 5. And our boy Fabi, next 2 rounds, gets Bluebaum and Esipenko. I don't know exactly which order, but I know he gets those 2 guys in the next 2 rounds. It's going to get hot. It's going to be real spicy. And we're going to raid somebody here. We're going to raid friend of the dojo, Rock Angel. You tell her, by the way, you say, hey, you need to show up for that game and review session. You tell her from me. All right, bye, everybody. Tell her, please. What's she doing? She's got a lot of people watching. All right, here we go. I'm out of here. Bye.